Hello, 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 hello. Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Thank you so much for watching. I can't believe I have to make this video. This has to be one of the dumbest days in Tesla's history of Tesla Twitter, Tesla commentary. There's been this talk going on about Tesla's board, and it started with this. There's a little bit of a conversation here and back, and Ross Gerber says it's time Tesla investors have a voice on the board of directors. And Kogwan Leo says, I recommend Ross Gerber and Gary Black to represent retail shareholders at the board of Tesla. Kogwan Leo is one of the largest individual shareholders of Tesla stock. Ross is a longtime Tesla investor and supporter. And what is going on? Are you people crazy? This is just absolutely nuts. Okay. There's nothing wrong at Tesla. The company is doing fine. The idea that there's a problem with the board of directors would indicate that there's something wrong with the company. But the company's growing fast. The company became profitable. This is like imaginary problems that people are making up. But I want to dive into this. So Matt Smith, and I've got a follow-up from Matt on this. He did a poll. And he said, it seems that retail sentiment, for the first time in recent memory, starting to turn negative about Elon Musk and the board of directors' silence re stock sales and a buyback. Would you support a shareholder resolution to add Gary Black to the Tesla board? And at the last I checked, with almost 7,000 votes, 51% of people said yes. Why? I'm going to go into Gary's qualifications in a minute. I'm going to go into Gary's qualifications in a minute. And the same thing with Ross, because Ross came up as well. Just to be fair to Matt, I contacted Matt. Matt is a friend of mine. And I said, any comment you want to make? And I cleared with him, just in case people don't like me using DMs. I cleared with him. It was okay to use this DM. He said, I think a lot of people are assuming I'm advocating for this, but I really just wanted to ask the question and gauge sentiment. I think Tesla actually needs some official PR type role more than anything to start fighting all these fuddy rumors. And I just want to be clear, I disagree with Matt. Tesla soared. Tesla shot up without a PR department. This is not a PR problem. There is no problem. It was fun. There's no problem at Tesla. I don't know why people think there's a problem at Tesla. Is the stock down? Sure. There's no problem at the company. The company's growing. They just delivered semi. They're growing deliveries. They're growing revenue. They're growing profit. They've got all this cool stuff happening with bot and FSD. Like, what? The stock's down a little bit and you're freaking out? The whole market's down. Tesla's a 2 beta stock. It's going to go down more than the rest of the market. It's going to go up more than the rest of the market when it goes up. Get over it. You bought into a company that's a highly volatile stock. Get over it. This is going to happen. So Emmett, who is Matt's partner, says, I think if we truly want a retail investor representative on the board, it should be Rob, Dave, or SMR, Stephen, Mark, Ryan. 3 top YouTubers moving the retail investor movement forward the longest and with the most success. I think I've been doing it a little longer than Stephen, but I'll concede Stephen's a better YouTuber. And I don't think I should be on the list either. I love all 3 of these guys. Okay, I love Rob. I love what Rob does. I particularly love Dave. I think if any of us is qualified, Dave started up a software company, international experience, calm, patient, all the things you want. But he has some business experience worthy of saying he should be on a board. But the practical reality is no. Even Dave, I love Dave. Even Dave should not be on Tesla's board. And here's the thing that I think people don't get. Okay, you can't just put 100 people on the board. Like, we could put Rob and Dave and Steve and me and Gary and Ross, and why don't we just put 20 people on the fucking board? It's just so stupid. What's wrong with the current board? Who is a problem on the current board? This is the thing. Here, I did this question. That wasn't a poll. I just did this question. Which independent board members would you remove to make room for Ross Gerber or Gary Black? Or, and I tagged Kogwan Leo and Matt and Emmett. Who are you going to remove? What you're saying is you don't have confidence in the current board. You don't have confidence in the current management of the company. You're really saying you don't have confidence in Elon Musk, right? Because the board supports Elon and Elon's running the company. And apparently you're not happy with how Elon's running the company, which is just go invest in another company. Like, Tesla, is driven by Elon Musk. If you're not happy with Tesla, but here's the board, okay? There's one guy off that's not on here. I mean, Elon's up at the top. I'm leaving Elon off. Kimball Musk. Kimball Musk's been with the company since the beginning. He's got a lengthy list of experience with a variety of companies. He's on the board of SpaceX. This is, one of the things is when you're looking at somebody you want to be on the board of directors, what experience do they have running a large corporation? What are the experience do they have being on the board of a large corporation? Right? So Kimball has experience on SpaceX, on Tesla. He knows the company better than anybody. He's not an independent board member. We can agree with that. But Kimball's innovative. He's been involved in the lab-based meat industry. He's got his own cooking thing. He's run businesses. He was there from the beginning with Tesla. I don't think anybody's saying get rid of Kimball from the board, but if you're saying get rid of Kimball from the board, what are you saying about Elon? Honestly, if you're saying this about any board member, what are you saying about Elon? Robin Denholm. I'm going to go through their experience, but this is the Wall Street Journal's breakdown. I'll go through Robin in a minute. For some reason, the Wall Street Journal didn't include much for her. Ira Ehrenpreis. Look at all this experience. Hiromichi Mizuno. I'm going to go through him. James Rupert Murdoch. Look at this. Look at the list. I think these are boards that they've served on. I think this is what this is. Boards that they've served on. Kathleen Wilson-Thompson. Look at the boards that they've served on. Look at what these people have done. So let's go with Robin Denholm. Robin Denholm is the chair of the Tesla board. She's the chair of the board. She's the chair of the audit committee. She's been with Tesla. She served as a director since August 2014. She's been with the company over 8 years. And she's been chair of the board for over 4 years. Operating partner of Blackbird Ventures, a venture capital firm, was with Telstra Corporation Limited, a telecommunications company, as CFO and head of strategy from October 2018-2019, chief operations officer from January 2017 to 2018. And before that, she was with Juniper Networks. I actually invested in Juniper Networks years ago. Juniper Networks is an internet hardware company, was an internet hardware company. She was executive vice president, CFO. She was operations officer. Before that, she worked for Sun Microsystems. If you don't know what Sun Microsystems is, then you don't know anything about Silicon Valley. You don't know about the early days of the computer industry. She was in various executive roles at Sun Microsystems, served at Toyota Motor Corporation Australia for 7 years. This is a very well-qualified person. We're going to go through Gary and Ross's qualifications later in this video, but I just want to say, do you want to get rid of Robin from the board? Do you think Robin is the chair of the board? Do you think Robin's not doing a good job on the board? This is ridiculous. Mr. J here in the comments says, board has a fiduciary responsibility to do whatever possible to increase shareholder value. I don't think this is happening. Do you disagree? Sell your fucking stock. Buy another company. Yes, they're increasing shareholder value. They're not increasing stock price today. If your goal is you want somebody to run the company who's increased the stock price today or tomorrow or next week, then fuck off and buy another company. This isn't the company for you. This is a long-term play. This is a company that is trying to grow and become one of the largest companies in the world, trying to change the world, trying to accelerate the transition to sustainable energy, trying to make the roads much safer, trying to make the world much more productive. FSD is going to make the world safer. Bot's going to make the world much more productive. If this isn't what you want, buy stock in another company. Why are you holding Tesla stock? Tesla stock is not a short-term play. I don't know what you're doing. Tesla is a startup company. Really, it just barely became profitable a couple of years ago. If you want a company that's got a long history of profits, buy Apple. Sell your stock, buy Apple. Like, Apple's the company you want because Tim Cook is working on managing the quarterly earnings, trying to get it, things right. If that's what you want, he's giving you your share buybacks. If you want share buybacks, go ahead. But this nonsense that you're like maximize shareholder value, they are maximizing shareholder value for 2030, not for next week. If you're looking for stock for next week, buy another company, sell your stock. Hiromichi Mizuno. You want to replace Hiro Mizuno? UN Special Envoy on Innovative Finance and Sustainable Investments. Executive Managing Director and Chief Investment Officer of Japan's Government Pension Investment Fund, the largest pension fund in the world. 5 years. You think Gary Black has experience managing funds? This guy has experience managing funds. This guy understands institutional investors. This guy has international experience. Board member of numerous business, government, other organizations, Global Food Products Company, World Economic Forum's Global Future Council. Who's Gary Black? You like his tweets? He sounds good on Farzad's channel? What? I'm curious, anybody who is advocating Gary Black or Ross Gerber, and just to be clear, I love Ross Gerber. I do not like Gary Black. Go look at their LinkedIn profiles. Go look at their bios on Gerber Kawasaki's website or on the Future Fund website. Go look at their bios. Tell me how many corporate boards they've served on. Tell me how much they've been involved in manufacturing. Tell me how much they've been involved in software. Tell me how they've been involved in engineering, robotics, cars. Gary worked in a car company. Ross worked in a car. I love Ross. Ross hasn't worked in a car company. I don't think Ross has been on any large corporate boards. Tesla is the 6th largest company in the publicly traded company in the world. Right? It's in the top 10 anyway. I don't know, like the current ranking, it's in the top 10. You want to appoint somebody who's never been on a significant corporate board to the board of one of the top 10 companies in the world? Kathleen Wilson-Thompson. This is the one when I asked people, who would you remove? This is one of the first people said you should remove, aside from Kimball. Executive Vice President and Global Chief Human Resources Officer at Walgreens, Global Pharmacy and Wellbeing Company. Various legal and operational roles at the Kellogg Company, a food manufacturing company, retail company, manufacturing company, human resources. People think Tesla might have human resources problems. We keep getting, Tesla fudsters. Tesla Q is always saying, oh, Tesla doesn't treat its workers well. Bullshit. You want somebody in charge of that? Board of directors of Wolverine Worldwide. It's a shoe company. Law degree. I know we all love the lawyers. This is the one they want to remove. They want to remove the black woman. You guys want to remove the black woman from the board, and you want to put Gary Black on. You want to put an old white Wall Streeter on the board and remove a black woman with great corporate experience. Really? Really? Okay, let's talk about Ira. Ira Ehrenpreis. Founder and managing partner of DBL Partners, a leading impact investing venture capital firm. Impact investing. Tesla's impact investing. Venture capital. Tesla started as a venture capital firm. Awarded the 2018 NACD Directorship 100 for being one of the most influential leaders in the boardroom and corporate governance community. I think this guy knows how to serve on a board. He knows venture capital. He knows how to serve on a board. He understands startups. Tesla is really still a startup company. Silicon Valley. Served on several industry boards, Department of Energy's Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy Advisory Committee. I wonder if that relates to Tesla's mission at all. National Renewable Energy Laboratory Advisory Council. Renewable energy. Does Tesla do something with solar? I don't know. Clean Tech Investor Summit. Renewable Energy Finance Forum. Look at this guy. You want to get rid of this guy on the board? You want to put Gary Black in place of this guy? Chairman of the Silicon Valley Technology Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum for many years. Leader at Stanford. This is a guy you want to bounce. Who are you bouncing? Who are you bouncing to make room for Gary Black and Ross Gerber? I love Ross. Don't like Gary. I love Ross. Ross doesn't belong on the board. Love him. Absolutely love Ross. But I wouldn't put him on the board. And I wouldn't take any of these people off to put Ross on the board. James Murdoch. Held a number of leadership roles at 21st Century Fox, a media company over 2 decades, including Chief Executive Officer from 2015 to March 2019. About 4 years. And Co-Chief Operating Officer from 2014 to 2015. A lot of leadership roles. This guy was a CEO. Of a large company. If you're going to be on the board of one of the largest companies in the world, it helps to have CEO experience in large companies. That's a positive. Lots of other experience for Murdoch. Some controversy. Hey, you want somebody who can handle, like Elon gets controversy? The Murdoch family's had plenty of controversy. He was on the boards of News Corporation, Sky PLC, GlaxoSmithKline, a pharmaceutical company, and Sotheby's. Okay, he's got corporate board experience. And boy, does that guy know controversy. That family knows controversy better than anybody. Joe Gebbia. Now, Joe Gebbia is a recent addition to the board. Co-founded Airbnb. Served on Airbnb's board of directors since 2009. Okay, he understands startups. He understands running an internet company. Tesla does business on the internet. I'm going to say that's a little bit better experience than being a short-term stock trader on Wall Street or an investment manager. This is like real world. He's managed a company. He's worked on a company. Like something that did something in the real world. Let's go to Gary. Managing partner of the Future Fund, a sustainable growth equity firm to invest in businesses that will change the world. Targeting the launch of an ETF long-short hedge fund. That's the FFFT, something like that. He's got a fund. FFND. Chief Executive Officer, Egon Asset Management. I got to put my glasses on to read this one. I made it too small. Hired by global CEO to turn around U.S. business following a string of leadership to partners, blah, blah, blah. Directed build-out of ESG fixed income platform. What we need at Tesla is we need somebody who stuns ESG fixed income. Right? Managed 550 employees, 120 billion in assets. Now, this is Gary's talk. We don't know how much of what Gary is saying is true, by the way. I believe that it's true that Gary has significant investment experience on Wall Street. Global Calamos Investments. I think these are relatively, I don't even know how big these companies are. Successful long-short equity strategies. That's what we need. We need long-short equity strategies on Tesla. There's more for Gary. He's got a lengthy LinkedIn profile. Black Capital, that's his own company. Long-short equity. Long-short equity. This is what we want. We want a guy who's experienced in long-short equity. Wall Street plays. That's what you want at Tesla. You want somebody who's good at equity play, at playing markets. Janus Capital Group. That's a real company, but this is his last real big company experience. Was 2009. 13 years ago was the last time Gary Black had a job at a real company. A significant big-time company. I'm not saying the other companies, Aegon, whatever, aren't significant, aren't real. They're bigger than anything I've done. I'm not saying I should be on the board, but I'm not comparing Gary to me. I'm comparing Gary to the people who are on the board today, right? And look, Goldman Sachs back in 2004, Alliance Bernstein, but it's all investment experience. Where's Gary been involved in manufacturing? Where's Gary been involved in engineering? Where has Gary been involved in human resources? Where has Gary been involved in technology, software? Where's the relevant experience? Where's the international experience? What does Gary bring to the table that isn't already at the table? I mean, you like his tweets? He talks good on a YouTube channel? Look, I talk good on a YouTube channel. I'm a lawyer, or retired lawyer. I don't think I qualify for this board. I think I understand engineering and software and manufacturing better than Gary does, and I still don't belong on the board. I think I understand Tesla's long-term mission way better than Gary does, and I still don't belong on the board. Let's turn to Ross. I can't say this enough. I love Ross Gerber. I think Ross is a wonderful guy. I think he's fun. I don't agree with him on everything, but I think he's fun. I think he's interesting. I think he's got some relevant experience in the world. But, he is a regular on Bloomberg, Reuters, Fox Business, Yahoo Finance, CNN, CNBC, and Cheddar TV. He has appeared on many of the most popular podcasts, including Meet Kevin, Hyperchange, the Dave Portnoy Show, the Pomp Podcast, and many more. I'm many more. He appeared, and I love Ross. I love talking to him. He oversees $2.2 billion of investments. This is true. Ross is great, and Ross has been a big supporter of Tesla for a long time. But where's the manufacturing experience? Where's the technology experience? Where's this? I think he's done a bit. He's done a bit of software. I'll give Ross a little bit of credit. He's done a bit of software, but I don't think he has the experience. He's into music. I mean, look at Ross's description of himself. Ever since he was a child, he's had a passion for investing in music. Look, I like music, and I have a passion for investing. It doesn't make me qualified to be on Tesla's board. And Ross has handled a lot more investing than I have, and he's done a lot of managing investing for people. And it's great, and I think he's wonderful. And I do own stock. I did invest in Ross's ETF. I do think Ross is great. He continues to play music and perform with his band. Okay. I love Ross. Where's the board memberships? What boards has he served on? What large company has he been on the board of? And I'm not coming down on Ross. I think Ross is great. If I start up a company, I would love to have Ross on my board. If I get the pod car going and Ross is willing to serve on my board, I would love to have him. But that would be a startup. And I'd be looking for anybody reasonably qualified to help me out. Not one of the 10 largest companies in the world. You need to have, if you're going to say that Tesla needs to be a little bit more like adults in the room, then putting Steve and Mark Ryan on the board ain't it. Putting Ross Gerber and Gary Black ain't it. Putting me on the board ain't it. Right? Joe Gebbia, startup of Airbnb, a real company that does real stuff that has changed the world. Yeah, okay, Joe Gebbia. So this is the thing. This is just so, Ross uses too much 420. Ross I love Ross. I think Ross does understand technology. I don't think he understands technology as well as Joe Gebbia. Right? I mean, I think Joe Gebbia understands technology better than Ross. I love Ross. But he ain't Joe Gebbia. No. He's not there. Gary's contribution. Pithy tweets about hangovers and catalysts. Gary is like an over-emotional girlfriend. Thank you, Bastiano. I mean, how many times does Gary have to be wrong before people figure it out? Jim Whitehead. Thank you, Jim. Jim says Warren would be great on any board because he sees through all the BS artists. I don't think I'm that good. Jason Burt, Gary is a Jewish brother. I'm pretty sure Ira Ehrenpreis covers the Jewish member of the board if that's what we need. I'm Jewish. I don't think Jewish qualifies me for the board. Is Gary Jewish? I didn't even know Gary was Jewish. I have no idea. Retail thinks the board is not doing anything for shareholder value. Adding someone to the board is a positive. I do think Ron or Dave should be added. Listen, anybody who's in the chat right now who thinks we need to add Gary or Ross or somebody else to the board, go to the Tesla website, ir.tesla.com. Tell me which board member you would remove. Don't give me this bullshit. We're just adding to the board. Why don't we put 100 fucking people on the board? Right? We could add Britney Spears to the board and Brittany Griner to the board. What are you doing? Financial engineering is what's missing. I think Zach understands financial engineering, but financial engineering is not a concern for Tesla. Tesla is a long-term growth company. It is not a financial engineering company. Invest in Goldman Sachs if that's what you want. David W. Hamilton says it's the 10th largest company in the world. They need a PR department. That's the problem. They didn't have a PR department when the stock... Look, I'm wearing the Tesla's the next Tesla t-shirt. I'm wearing the Tesla's the next Tesla t-shirt. Do you know what happened when the stock went up like this? That big growth path, when the stock went up from like nothing to huge, they didn't have a PR department. You know what happened when the stock went down? They didn't have a PR department. They didn't have a PR department when it was going up or down. They don't need a PR department. It's ridiculous. That's your problem, that they need a PR. You need to replace a board member because they need a PR department. Look, here's the thing. If you think Tesla needs a new board member, needs somebody, you think the company is not well run, what you are saying is that you think that Elon Musk is not running the company well. What you are saying is you want the board to do something about Elon. You want the board to change Elon's behavior. Then don't invest in Tesla. Don't invest in Elon's companies. Buy Apple. Buy GM. Mary led. Go with Mary. I don't know. I think, what's the company that makes GPUs? There's a company that makes GPUs that's pretty cool. You want to invest in a growth company that probably has a PR department, whatever that company is that makes the GPUs that Tesla uses. Can't think of the name off the top of my head. Anybody got the name of that company? None of these people can tell you what has fundamentally changed about Tesla's execution since Elon bought Twitter. Exactly, Bastiano. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, they're growing. They just delivered Semi. How come nobody's complaining about the Neuralink overhang? You know, Elon was busy with Neuralink for a couple of days. NVIDIA. Thank you, Jim Whitehead. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a great company. Invest in NVIDIA. They probably have a PR department. Yeah, TSMC, AMD, but NVIDIA is the one. Go ahead, invest in NVIDIA. Good company. They're growing. What's this? Obviously, retail sentiment needs to change. How does that happen? I don't care about retail sentiment. I don't know why anybody cares about retail sentiment. How do you know it's retail sentiment and non-institutional investor sentiment? What is this sentiment? Sentiment's bullshit. Is the company making products that people want to buy? Yes. Is the company growing fast? Yes. Is the company profitable? Yes. Is there a path to an amazing future? Yes. What the fuck do you want? What do you want? You want somebody at the company who's kissing your ass every day saying, oh, we're working on raising the stock price? You want a buyback? Let me talk about buyback for a second. This buyback thing is bullshit. I'll tell you why the buyback thing is bullshit. Number one, the proposed buybacks are so small, it's like a tiny drop in the bucket. Right? Tesla's, let's say, a $600 billion company today. You're going to buy back $5 billion in stock? That's less than 1% of the value of the company. How is this meaningful? And what if in the next 6 months, Tesla discovers an opportunity to buy a mining company? It's going to cost $20 billion to buy it. What if that's the key to unlocking the master plan part 3 to making sure you have enough battery materials to support Tesla's battery future, because Tesla's going to need a shit ton of batteries. Would you rather they do a buyback, or would you rather they buy the mining company? I want them to be ready to buy that mining company. I'm using mining as an example. I don't know what acquisition they might need. New t-shirts, sell your fucking stock. Thank you, Ken. Retail wants a higher multiple and not a forward PE of 25. Then buy a company with a forward PE that's higher than 25 and get out of Tesla stock. Sell your stock. Buy another company. I don't understand what the problem is. If you think that the company is not well run, then buy a company you think is well run. Many are bag holders and now stuck with the stock. Hard to get out now. Well, don't play. Look, it's a tech company. It's a fast-growing company. It's a volatile stock. It's always been a volatile stock. If you bought into a volatile stock and you didn't realize it was going to be volatile, then you eat in your own. Then you got what you deserved. Do your due diligence before you buy stock in a company. If you didn't realize it was a volatile stock, I don't know what the hell you were thinking. Jason Burt says Tesla has risk of over-leveraged manufacturing. If production slows, the factories will burn the cash on the books. Why would production slow? Production's increasing. Production is growing fast. Let Elon. That's not a bad shirt. There's a ton of FUD over how Musk is changing Twitter as well. Buybacks and board change talk is all due to temporary stock price drop. The stock's been up and down before. Tesla Twitter is full of crybabies lately. Yes. Freaking China deliveries are at a record in November. That's the story. The China deliveries were through the roof. Are they lowering prices a little? So what? They have huge margins in China. They make the Model Y so cheap in China. It's crazy. NVIDIA is overvalued and barely profitable. Fine, then don't buy NVIDIA. I don't know what company you want to buy. Tell me what company you want to buy over Tesla. And sell your Tesla stock and buy that company. What they are saying, Cybertruck says, what they're saying is, I don't understand Tesla's mission statement. Yes. TOTOG 878 says, Gary doesn't understand Tesla. Not really. No kidding. Sehun Ozturk says, Ross and Gary are a perfect match to protect him. Listen, there's people in the chat who believe that Gary and Ross should be on the board, or Emmett, or Dave, or SMR, or Rob. Tell me which board member you would remove. Put it in the chat. I don't see anybody in the chat saying which board member you would remove. If you're not willing to remove a board member, then you don't get to add a board member. You don't just add 10 board members. That's not how it works. If you think somebody on the board isn't doing their job, tell me who's not doing their job. Tell me who you would remove. I don't see it. I'm just saying this right now. I'm looking in the chat. There's several people in the chat who are saying Gary should be on the board, Ross should be on the board, whoever should be on the board. Tell me who you'd take out. Who are you removing from the board? Who's not doing their job? You're going to take Kimball out? You're going to take the black woman out? You're going to take the Japanese guy out? You're going to take the Aussies out? Who are you taking out? Where is it? I don't see anybody saying who you'd take off the board. I don't know who Peter Griffin is. He's not on the board. Yeah, maybe we should put Peter Rawlinson on the board. Do you think Peter Rawlinson should be on the board of Tesla? He's CEO of an electric vehicle company. He'd be fantastic. Put Peter Rawlinson on the board. There's a great idea. No, nobody said that in the chat. I'm just making it up. Somebody mentioned Lucid Motors, and I thought it was funny. Gary should focus on his shitty fund. Would you add another Elon or Bezos? Put Bezos on the board. I love Jeff Bezos. Board of directors overhang is the new thing. Exactly. Is Gary in the chat? Is Gary in the chat? Seriously? I don't think Gary's in the chat. Jim Manley says Tesla will have close to $50 billion by the end of 2023. They have plenty of cash for manufacturing and building new factories. They don't have $50 billion in cash now. And you don't know when they might have an opportunity to make an acquisition for $20 billion or $40 billion. Jupiter James says, why not add someone with government relations experience, someone that will appease both sides of the island internationally? Hiromichi Mizuno has great experience with government relations. He's the director of the Japanese pension fund. Robin Denholm has government relations experience. James Murdoch has government relations experience. What are you talking about? You want to put a socialist on the board? What are you saying? Gordon Johnson. Yeah, let's put Gordon Johnson on the board. Pack the board. Do you honestly think somebody shouldn't have replaced Larry? They did. Joe Gebbia replaced Larry. Joe Gebbia, who was the co-founder of Airbnb, replaced Larry Ellison. They replaced Larry. Add Martin Eberhard. Yeah, Martin Eberhard. Bill Gates. We'll put Bill Gates on the board. Yeah. Is it possible that Bears and or GM are trying to fund a board takeover to ruin Tesla? No, it's just bullshit on Twitter. Nobody's funding this. Kogwan Leo had a bad moment and said something stupid. But if you think about it, when you say you don't have confidence in Tesla's board and something needs to change on Tesla's board, when you say that, what you're saying is that you don't have confidence in the way the company is being run. You don't have confidence in Elon. You don't have confidence in Drew. You don't have confidence in Zach. You don't have confidence in Martin. You don't have confidence in Lars. You don't have confidence in, what's the guy's name? Priestley? The guy who was at the semi event. You don't have confidence in Ashok Elaswamy. You're saying you don't trust the way the company's run. Trevor Milton would be a good board member. Exactly. Who are you? I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for somebody in the chat who is saying they want to add Gary or Ross or whoever to the board. Tell me which board member you take out. And here's a bigger question. You don't like the way the company's being run. Do you want to remove Elon? Do you really think that would be good for the share price if you moved Elon from Tesla? Seriously. If Elon said, fuck it, I'm walking away from Tesla, I'll run SpaceX, Neuralink, Boring Company, and Twitter, and I'll let whoever's going to be the next CEO run Tesla. Would you be happy with that? Do you really think the stock would go up if Elon walked away? He's not doing it. Are you out of your mind? I wouldn't kick anybody off for Bezos. I wouldn't kick anybody off the board. I love the board. I think the board is doing a great job. Sehun Ozerk says, Ross and Gary can easily do the job, Ira Ehrenpreis and Robin Denholm. Okay, so we have somebody who actually stepped up. Sehun Ozturk says, remove Ira Ehrenpreis and Robin Denholm from the board and put Ross and Gary in their place. Ira Ehrenpreis, who was named, what did I say about Ira? Ira was named, oh no, it's the first one. Ira was named the 2018 NACD Directorship 100 for being one of the most influential leaders in the boardroom and corporate governance community. Ross and Gary haven't served on a major corporate board. You want to knock Ira out for that? Robin Denholm, you want to bounce Robin? Well, of course, you want to bounce a woman from the board, too. Sure. You want to bounce a woman and the Jew, right? Okay. So far, people want to bounce the woman, the Jew, and the black lady. Okay. What? She was head of strategy for a major telecommunications company. She worked for Juniper Networks, she's done manufacturing, she's done telecommunications. She worked at Sun Microsystems. Monica Lewinsky can go under the table. Cute. Gary Black says 20% stock hit minimum if Elon leaves. Wait, who cares what Gary says? 20% be a 50% stock price drop. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, put Mary Barr on the board. Come on. Reed Hastings. Isn't that a law firm? I don't think Reed Hastings is a person. I think Reed Hastings is a law firm. Or is that the LinkedIn guy? Sounds like a law firm name. Good morning, Ralph Malf. Let's see. Bill Gates reluctantly admitted he shorted Tesla and lost about $1 billion doing it when Tesla went public. CM Nachman. I don't know who that is. Henrik Fisker. Yeah, sure. I'm waiting. You know, okay, so far we got one person who's got the balls to say who they would knock off, and they would knock off a woman and a Jew. Okay. It would knock off a guy who's got a legendary reputation for being a great board member. Kogwan Leo said he didn't want it. Kogwan Leo said he didn't want the board. He suggested Gary and Ross, and I lost all respect for Kogwan Leo at that moment. Sehun, you want to knock off the black woman. People are going to say Tesla that lacks diversity on the board. If you're going to knock off the most shining example of diversity on the board. You want to knock off the black woman. You want to knock off the woman chair of the board, and you want to knock off the black woman board member. And you can't imagine how crazy the political FUD would be if they took the black woman off the board. Are you crazy? Not to mention that she's got great HR experience. She's got great other experience. She's a great member of the board. It's absolutely ridiculous. Jim Whitehead, Gary Black has sometimes shorted Tesla, so I don't trust anything he has to say about it exactly. He doesn't care if he ruins a company like Disney. Doesn't care if it ruins superhero movies. The best board member is no board member. Thank you, Ken. That's a good one. Yes, Dave Milk says I was as impressed with Robin at shareholders as any other person there. Robin Denholm spoke at the shareholders meeting in Texas. I was there for that. She gets the long-term mission of the company. I mean, honestly, like, do you want somebody who's good? Tesla boomer mama? No, look, I'm going to go through this again. None of the people that are being suggested for the board have any experience on major corporate boards. And Tesla is one of the 10 largest companies in the world. You are not putting somebody on the board who doesn't have experience at a major company. Joe Gebbia co-founded Airbnb, major company. Major company, tech company. What are you doing? AMD, okay, sure, AMD over whatever. I mean, I don't know who you're going to invest in. No, I'm not qualified for the board. I'd be flattered, but there's no, like, how the hell am I qualified to be on the board? I'm a talking head. I've had a few jury trials, 50. I've had 50 jury trials. Do they do a lot of trial work? Does the board have a lot of responsibility for litigation? Is that like a critical thing? And even if it did, I'm like nowhere near the level of litigator that you would want on the board. Sehun, you suggested removing the one black woman from the board. There's one black person on the board. There's two women on the board. You suggested removing a black woman from the board. The Fudsters would go absolutely nuts if they removed a black woman from the board. The Fudsters would go nuts. Oh, Tesla doesn't have diversity on the board. Blah, 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 blah. And she's smart and she's well qualified. Ridiculous. Benjamin Sanders, serious question. Why are we talking about new influencer, new board members? Because people on Twitter are coming up with bullshit. That's why. And I'm on Twitter and I'm a YouTuber, and we're talking about YouTubers and Twitter people. And Koguan Leo is one of the largest investors in Tesla, and he suggested putting Gary and Ross on the board. Mr. Creole Vogue says, stop talking color, idiot. Who gives a shit about that virtue signaling? Koguan Leo is a great man. I think Koguan Leo is a good man. Elon is arrogant, and I'm invested millions. Sell your stock and buy another company. First of all, crystal clear vlog, you have not invested millions. You're a nobody. You're a fake account. Nobody cares. Second of all, because if you had any balls, you'd put your real name on it. Second of all, you're ignoring that you're concerned about PR. What's the PR spin on firing the black woman from the board, Gary? Exactly. Yeah, Alex Johns, Warren being added would make the stock drop 20%. Me being added to the board would make the stock drop 50%. I don't belong on the board. Doge on the board. James Dalma is a very smart guy, and he understands the company, but I don't think he has the corporate experience of leadership and board membership. I love James Dalma. But he doesn't belong on the board, and he wouldn't want to be on the board either. Harry Chu, remember when Gary Black spread FUD at the shareholder meeting and tanked the stock? This is the guy you're talking about. People have really short memories, and what happens is, there's retail investors, right? There's short-term thinking retail investors who see that their stock is down temporarily and they're freaking out. And I can't do anything about that. And Gary speaks to that pain. That's what's going on. Gary speaks to their pain. If you were an investor and you're worried about your short-term stock price, then Gary speaks to your pain. That's the point. Sorry. See if Jesus is busy. Galileo Russell. Yeah, Gally Russell has experience on an EV company board. I suppose we could put Gally on the board. Although the results of that company, I love FUV, but maybe the results haven't been that great since Gally got on the board. I don't know. Harry Chu says, I have millions in Tesla stock and I support the board of directors and Musk. Being on the board would help me being on the Tesla board probably would help me get a girl. That's true, Fired Up Phil. I would take the board position. I'm not saying I would turn it down, and it probably would help me get a girlfriend, but I just don't think Tesla should do that. Like, as an investor, I say no. Yeah, no, James Dalma is super well qualified to understand the mission of the company, understand the tech, understands the retail. I mean, honestly, if you were picking a retail investor, at least James understands what the company's doing. He understands manufacturing. He understands the tech. Sure, but he still doesn't belong on the board. Gary speaks to his fund spend. Ellie in space for the... Ellie's not black. I like Ellie, but I don't think Ellie belongs on the board either. ChatGPT, yeah, so I did a tweet. I don't think I shared this tweet. I did a tweet with a poll. Who should be on the board? It was Gary Black or Brittany Griner or Britney Spears or ChatGPT. And last I checked, ChatGPT was winning. Lex Friedman. Lex Friedman's great, but I don't think anybody's suggesting him for the board. And I don't think he has that corporate experience. Do I see a demand issue in China? Yeah, there's a demand issue in China. It's really bad for the other companies. Tesla makes the best cars. The demand issue is bad for companies that make crappy cars. No, this isn't a done deal. This is just like people talking stupid. Where's DeBolt and the other retail shareholders on this? Yeah, Jason DeBolt probably doesn't think this is a good idea either. The best board member is no board member. No, I don't belong on that. It's not my... I want to be on Boring Company. I want to be with Boring Company. Boring Company is my choice. If I want to be on a company, I want to be on Boring Company. And I don't belong on the Boring Company's board either. Mark Frohnmeyer is a no-no. So George Lewis says the board has been MIA and retail investors just need someone to just inform of all the good you know, but most people don't. The board has not been MIA. The board is an active board that pays attention what's going on in the company. If you went to the shareholder meeting, you saw Robin speaking, what do you tell me what the board members are doing at NVIDIA or General Motors or Apple. Are the board members at Apple, not MIA? Do you see the board members of Apple doing something? What are you talking about? The board members are MIA. They show up to the meetings. They do their job. The company is well run. V3GA5 says, I would have sent super chat, but Warren, you only expect $10 to send message. What's up with that? I don't have any setting. I don't think I set any setting like that. I have no idea. I don't know how that works, V3GA5. But thank you for the thought. Jason probably needs to go back to work now that Tesla's pre-split 510. I think Jason's okay. I think Jason will be fine. BYD cars remind me of Chinese department store motorcycles. Dave Lee actually has experience in running a company, all things related, but doubtfully would ever want to. I think Dave is too busy with his life, but Dave has experience running a small software company that made apps. And I love Dave. I think Dave gets the long-term mission of the company. I think Dave asks good questions. Dave would be a great guy. If of everybody we've talked about, Dave would be a great Dave Lee and James Down would be great on the board, but they don't meet the threshold of experience that you want on a board of a top 10 Fortune 10 company. Warren's next show. Do you know the Boring Company? Let me bore you. Is that a good pickup line? I'd like to explore your tunnels. David Kasman says, can't wait for Q4 results that should settle down the investors that are freaking. I don't think so. I don't think Q4 is going to be that good. I think that there's some temporary market conditions like a coming tax credit for the next quarter. I think both in the US and China that's depressing short-term demand because they want to take delivery in January 1st or after. And I think that's hurting Q4. I think Tesla Energy is booming, and we're going to see a big jump in Tesla Energy, but I think we're going to see lower deliveries in Q4 than we hope for. The deliveries will grow in Q4, but they're not going to grow as much as we hope. Could the board do or say anything right now to help chill investors? Look, people want a buyback. A buyback is bullshit. There's a buyback overhang. There's a Twitter overhang. There's a board overhang. It's all a bunch of nonsense. But the company is growing. They just came out with semi. They're increasing production in Berlin. They're increasing production in Texas. They're increasing production in Shanghai. They're increasing production in Fremont. They're selling cars. They're improving FSD. They're making progress on bot. They're making progress on Dojo. What are you people talking about? SMR for a Tesla PR. I don't think Stephen Mark Ryan is the right. I love Stephen Mark Ryan. Absolutely love the guy. Doesn't belong in Tesla PR. No. You want him blowing smoke at the investors and talking about their mothers? I don't think that's a good call. Elon overhang. Gary for the water board. Elon ball overhang. Are there any Chinese members of the board? Maybe that will help. No, I don't think there's any Chinese members of the board, but I think I think the Australians know a lot about the Chinese market, and I think Hiromichi Mizuno knows a lot about the Chinese market. No, I don't belong on the board. Thank you. It's not that a buyback is stupid. It's that a buyback does not do much for the company. Rob Maurer for PR. Tesla doesn't need... Look, Elon has 120 million followers on Twitter. If he wants to say something, he says it, and 120 million people see it and more. Chai Hef says, why doesn't Reuters get held accountable for fake news? Because it's hard to sue companies for fake news. I mean, really the accountability is the people who read these fake news websites, these bad media websites, should stop reading them, but they're so addicted to their news sources they can't let them go. UFWs? What's UFWs? I don't know what UFWs is. Did I say something? I missed it. Buybacks are gimmicks like splits. There's a proper place for buybacks, but you can see where sometime in the next 6 months or a year, Tesla might have an opportunity to do a big acquisition. If your concern is, hey, they should do a buyback because they have all this cash and their cash pile is growing too fast, do you really want to change the board of a company whose cash pile is growing too fast? Is that really your concern? Tesla's piling up too much cash. I don't like that. I like a company that's growing cash. It's a money printing machine. Are you crazy? If Musk stabilizes Twitter, he might sell a lot of his Twitter shares. One day Musk may buy back Tesla and squeeze those shorts. It's not a concern. Rob Maurer already is Tesla PR. That's true. UFWs. I don't know what that is. No, the board in investor relations is not responsive to substantial retail investors. Tesla needs better public relations to deal with the bad press coverage. So Brian B. assumes that if they had PR, that they would get better press coverage. And we've seen this before. They had a PR department and they was getting all this FUD and the PR department did not get results. And Elon said, screw it. And he dumped the PR department. We've been through this. You get a bad story about Tesla. The PR department says that's wrong. And then you get another bad story saying the Tesla PR department said blah, 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 and they're wrong. And here's why. You're just feeding the machine if you have PR. It is execution, Harry Chu. It is execution that will change the tide. Tesla is executing, and they will continue executing. V3GA5, I've heard your Gary PR Black's fund is getting slaughtered. I've seen you say that a bunch of times. And I agree, he could care less about Tesla's long-term mission. When he ends up selling, you won't hear from him. Oh, he'll brag about it. He'll brag when he sells high. Tim Dodero, we don't know what Tesla's plans are for mining that could require a lot of cash. Exactly. We don't know what they might need cash for. Tesla Semi will be a money printer. It's not a money printer yet. They're probably losing money on Semi for now, but they will be making money on it soon. I find it absolutely hilarious that these Twitter influencers with a few thousand followers, many of them bots, have elected themselves spokesmen for all retail. Well, no, Koguan Leo said it, and Koguan Leo is like the fourth largest shareholder in Tesla. Miguel Monte says, a pile of still money does not provide growth nor value. It's just a pile. No buyback, I agree, but don't pile it. Please use it. Acquisitions, new factories. They will spend it on new factories. That's for sure, but they can't spend it all. But having that money in reserve, ready in case they need to do an acquisition, in case they need it for some reason, in case there's a bad recession, yes. I think it's good. It's invested, probably earning 2, 3, 5% right now, so it's not still. Jim Whitehead points out Tesla doesn't buy $1 billion in auto ads like the auto giant, so it gets bad press from all the time from the networks. Nokia Lover says, my Tesla investment is minus 50% currently. I'm sorry you bought at the peak. Hold on. Not financial advice. My opinion, hold on. It's going to 10x from here. It's going to more than 10x from here. Hard pill to swallow. Chicken Genius was right after all. 140 is incoming. Look, if there's a nuclear war, I suppose the stock might fall some more. If there's some other really bad events, the stock might fall. From everything I'm seeing, China's starting to open up. That's going to help. They're going to keep producing cars. They're going to announce the robo-taxi soon. They're going to start delivering Cybertrucks in 6 months. Musk should make an announcement of his successor so people know who would be next in line. Why? Why? He's not leaving. You should try to get Leo on and talk some sense into him. I'd be happy to talk to Koguan Leo. I'd love to. If you know Koguan Leo, tell him I'd love to interview him. It'd be great. Sultan of Brunei? Mike Orlando says, I watched Dave Lee, Gary Black interview. I tried to watch it. As soon as Gary starts talking, I have to stop. I can't take him. But Mike says, I realized then that Gary thought he was much smarter than he was. Dave would agree if he wasn't so decent and diplomatic. That's why Gary went on Dave's channel and won't go on my channel. Dave will kiss his ass. I mean, Dave will take shots at him, but he's much more subtle. Why are we red while everything else is green today? Because Tesla's a volatile stock. Tesla China made 100,000 cars. Tesla, I mean, think about this. Giga Shanghai is making more cars at a higher pace this year than Tesla made last year. The company as a whole. You want to talk about growth? This is insane growth. Hold on for dear life. Hodl. It doesn't matter whether somebody dumps shares. The value of the company is determined by the long-term prospects of earnings and growth and profit and everything else. A lot of us are worried about his enemies and a possible assassination, not a joke and not out of the question. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't spend a lot of time worrying about it. There's certainly a risk, but he's had enemies for a long time. I mean, don't forget he challenged Putin to a fist fight a while ago. We don't know what Tesla is planning in the next 2 to 5 years. They might need their money. Exactly. You thought KSI versus Jake Paul was exciting. Maren Warren versus Gary Black in the boxing ring. That would be over really quick. I'm much younger than Gary. I'm probably bigger and stronger than Gary. And I'm probably more trained in fighting than Gary, although I don't know that. But this isn't about fighting. This isn't about physical. And Gary, for all I know, Gary's a trained fighter. I don't know. This isn't about physical fighting. This is about like who makes sense. And Gary doesn't make sense. Gary kisses, he touches on the retail investors who are down a little bit right now and want their stock to go up. You know, he's giving you the easy answers. They're not true. He told you when the Twitter deal was complete, the overhang would be lifted and the stock would go up, and the stock went down. And he told you when they got investment grade credit rating from S&P, the stock would go up and the stock went down. At what point do you decide the guy's full of crap? Ross Gerber versus Warren in a slap fight. No, Ross and I would hug it out. I wouldn't slap Ross. I'd hug him. I love Ross. I respect you more for this episode, Warren. You're on point. Tesla was well run. I believe in the board. We knew who his successor was. We would feel more at ease, and I know he's not leaving it. Look, the company is well run. When he's not there, the company's well run. Drew Baglino does a great job running his part of the company. Zach Kirkhorn does a great job running the financial side. Ashok Elaswami's doing a great job with FSD. The Dojo team is doing great. The energy team is doing great. I think that is Drew. There's lots of great things happening. We found out about V4 superchargers, and you guys are like not paying attention. How did you miss the V4 supercharger thing? That's amazing. Elon Musk put a target. He's had a target on his back for years. Would you and Gary fight for a board seat? I wouldn't fight for a board seat. I'd fight to keep Gary off the board. Dave's a sweetheart. He won't call Gary out on his bullshit. I just couldn't watch it. I tried to watch that video. I couldn't do it. There's certain people, they start talking at a certain point. I just have to stop watching because I can't take it. What do I think about Farzad's live streams? I can't watch Gary. Seriously, I cannot watch Gary Black speak. I want to like throw things at the television or at the screen. Warren, why is Musk needed then? So let's be clear. Elon's value to Tesla is number one. He is a master innovator. Okay, he's a master debater. Just kidding. But he's a master innovator. He understands the innovation engine. He's the guy who can make the big call when you need a big call made. When you're doing final design, like no other CEO could have delivered Cybertruck. No other CEO could have delivered Semi. Bill Gates said that a 500-mile range electric semi was impossible, and Elon delivered it. That change, if you look at SpaceX, the change to stainless steel for Starship, only Elon could do something like that. You need somebody who is an authoritative CEO who can make those calls. Now, if Elon goes, there's no one who's going to fill those shoes. But there are plenty of great people at Tesla. Somebody will step. Maybe it'll be Kimball. I don't know if it's Kimball or if it's Drew Baglino or it's Zach Kirkhorn. There's people at Tesla who can step up and fill the role if they need to. And it could be JB Straubel too. There's plenty of people. But it's a really, really well-run organization. There's a great team. The fact that Elon can walk off to Twitter and Tesla's still growing and Tesla's still delivering Semi and Tesla's still growing production and Tesla's still growing deliveries and Tesla's still doing all the stuff shows what Elon did was he built a great team. But there's the value that Elon brings is there's this moment where you got to make the big call, like what's the robo-taxi vehicle going to be in the end? What are the final design details? What are the big deal? You know, Franz von Holzhausen, another great member of the Tesla team. There's lots of great people on the Tesla team. Chris Anderson says if Tesla's worth $3 to $4 trillion, should cash pile be 5 to 10%, 150 to $300 billion? I don't have a arbitrary number in my head of what the cash pile should be of a company that's of a certain size. I think 5% might be sensible. I don't think you need 10% cash in any company. I think that's too much. But, it depends. Janus went from one of the leading mutual fund brands to a takeover candidate under Gary Black. I believe you. I don't know the facts. I don't know what his history was with Janus or whatever. I don't know. He can talk about all the things he accomplished. Why did he leave these great companies that he was so successful at? I don't know. Tesla could use the cash to buy shuttered GM and Ford facilities. No. Greenfield factories are better than buying old factories. They learned that with Fremont. In other news, Electrek is hating on Tesla again with his later video. Yeah. Oh, E for Electric. Yeah, he's always doing that. I think Thunderfoot's cracking on Tesla Semi. Like, it doesn't matter what Tesla does. The haters are going to hate. Fired Up Phil says, I'd really like to see them start pumping out Cybertrucks. I think soon we're going to see the beta Cybertrucks. Thanks, James Finn. People shouldn't follow Gary Black. It adds no value and just distracts from all the good Tesla's doing. I blocked Gary. People also forgetting that people like Gary Black are also content creators. They make shit up to keep the conversation going. Next catalyst for Gary will Elon moving out of Twitter HQ. Yeah, no, look, I'm a content creator too. And truthfully, I make shit up too. I look at what I see in Tesla and I talk about what I see coming for Tesla's future. I'm working right now on a video, not working, like I haven't started shooting yet, but I have a video coming about Tesla R&D. Elon made a comment about Tesla R&D in Q3 investor call, earnings call, whatever. And I thought it was really interesting, as people have no idea how much R&D we're doing or what our different R&D projects are. And I'm digging into that to try to figure out. And by the way, if you know anything about Tesla's R&D, please DM me on Twitter or send me an email. You go to the About page of my YouTube channel. You click, you can get my email address and email me. It's wredlick@gmail.com. But is Austin big enough to produce 100,000 semis a year? It is big enough, but semi is being produced at Giga Nevada, not in Austin. They may start producing in semi in Austin, but I believe the plan is to manufacture semi in Austin, in Nevada, not in Austin. When do you think we will recover? I don't make short-term stock price predictions. The stock's going to be down for a while and then it'll go up. Jupiter James says, I'm sorry, Kimball is an absolute terrible idea. Literally zero manufacturing experience. No experience managing major public company. I agree that the reason why Kimball would be a reasonable CEO is because my guess is that if Elon disappears, dies, whatever, that Kimball ends up getting control of Elon's stock and he would be one of the largest shareholders. And he's been with Tesla since the very beginning. He has manufacturing. He was involved in Tesla manufacturing from the very beginning. He was involved in Tesla's growth as a major public company from the very beginning. And he's been involved in SpaceX and he's been involved in other stuff. So do I think Kimball's the perfect choice as CEO of the company? No. But he might be a better choice than anybody else. I think he probably has as much of a long-term vision as anybody else. My pick's Drew Baglino, just to be clear. But Giga Nevada can produce 10 semis per day. Is that right? That'd be 3. I think it can. I think they'll be able to do more than that. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for semi production. Warren Redlick is a made up name for Raren Redlick. It's not bad. All right. So I think I've made my point, and I think we've had enough conversations. I just want to thank everybody for watching. And I think the idea of Gary Black or Ross, again, almost no one has given an answer for who they would remove from the board to make room for these other people. JB Straubel, maybe. I don't know. I just think Drew Baglino is the natural fit, but that's me. So I want to thank everybody as CEO, just to be clear, as CEO. He's been with the company from practically the beginning. He runs most major aspects of the company, understands the whole company. I would pick Drew Baglino, but anyway. So thanks everybody for watching. Check out the t-shirts at elonbits.com. We're in the dip now. We're in this dip now, but we'll come back. Not financial advice. Check out the t-shirts. Please check out my other videos. So please support me on the Locals platform, on Patreon, or as a YouTube channel member. Please like this video, share, and subscribe.